What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and today I'm bringing you a breakdown of a 2007 playoff game between the Cavs and the Pistons, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and this is the game LeBron James scored 48 points and the last 25 for Cleveland. He did this in Detroit, and they took a 3-2 lead in the series. They would win that series and play the Spurs in the finals, where they got swept. So, I'll be breaking down how LeBron had a great game, and, as usual, some other things I saw. Like always, let's start with intros. Cleveland was led by head coach Mike Brown, and Detroit by Flip Saunders. And outside of LeBron, Cleveland's team was very weak. They had solid role players in Ilgauskas, Gooden, and Hughes, but no other stars to go on with LeBron. Speaking of Gooden, do you remember when he had this haircut? Ugh. Detroit was a very solid team and well coached. They had Billups, Hamilton, Wallace, and Prince. And remember, Ben Wallace signed with the Bulls a few years before, so they had Chris Webber in his twilight years to play center. Let's take a look at how LeBron scored his points. Here he's posting up, and no double comes, but Prince plays great defense and forces LeBron into a fadeaway, which he hits. Here a simple screen and roll, and when Detroit allows middle and Wallace sags, he is forced into a 2-on-1. He decides to stay with Ilgauskas, which leaves LeBron open, and he gets fouled. Here LeBron pulls up to take a long two, a shot Detroit would gladly give up. Detroit tried to change things up a bit and went zone, and it looked like a 1-2-2. And when Cleveland screens the ball, a new guard must step up. It should be Billups. They get confused, and LeBron gets an and one. Very interesting set here from Cleveland. They first run LeBron over a high side of screens, then they set a slanted double screen and roll, and they actually get Wallace to hedge and get a 2-on-1, but LeBron doesn't give it up. No worries, of course, as LeBron can drive and score. A gorgeous double crossover by LeBron, but Detroit is still in good position to help weak side with Webber, and Billups can drop down to sink and fill, but LeBron powers his way to a foul. When someone is posting up closer to the 3-point line than the block, it's not a great time to double, but once LeBron gets closer to the block, it probably would have done Detroit good to double there. They don't, and he scores. Again, right here, Detroit probably shouldn't double LeBron, but once he starts backing Prince down, they should. They don't, but good defense by Prince still forces a tough shot, which he hits. Here, Detroit smartly goes under this pick and roll to force a LeBron tough jumper, but LeBron is heating up. A teaching point here, hedging and going under the screen and roll is arguably the best method to stop the pick and pop, and here they contain it, but LeBron is too good. Watch Prince here. Instead of fighting over the screens, he gets lazy and tries to execute a switch. That doesn't happen, and LeBron gets a 3. Basically, if you're a perimeter defender guarding a player driving, your job is to keep him out of the middle, and here Detroit doesn't do that as LeBron gets deep middle penetration, and there's nothing a help side defender can do, and LeBron gets a dunk. Here Prince does a great job keeping LeBron out of the middle, but that's Lindsey Hunter who needs to step up to take a charge. He doesn't, and once again LeBron gets a dunk. And here, a beautiful back cut by LeBron gets a dunk. Off the screen and roll, Detroit aggressively hedges LeBron, and he has a 3-on-2 on the weak side if he wants it, but instead he hits an incredible long 2. Detroit's defense was very good, but LeBron was playing incredible. Detroit probably should have brought a double by now, but these shots are something else. Again, Detroit hedges the screen and roll, and there's a 3-on-2 opportunity, but LeBron couldn't miss. Tie game, 10 seconds left in double overtime. Detroit should probably double the man with 46 points. They don't. LeBron gets deep middle penetration, solid help side defense, but LeBron makes an acrobatic layup for the win. Let's move on to Detroit's offense because I was really impressed by it. Here they set a double pin down for Rip Hamilton, and when Ilgauskas steps out on that screen, that frees up the 2 big man, and they move it well and get a foul. Here a single pin down for Hamilton, and when a good screen is set, Ilgauskas is forced into a 2-on-1. He goes to Hamilton, which frees Webber up for a dunk. Here's an interesting set that I saw Miami run for Ray Allen, a diamond form, where here Hamilton has a choice of 2 pin downs on both sides, and whichever side Hamilton chooses, Prince simply clears out the opposite side. And here off the pin down, they get a 2-on-1 just like a middle pick and roll. I know you've heard me say that, and Wallace gets a wide open jumper. And here's a new set that intrigued me, which starts with Hamilton running off a UCLA cut. Then Wallace will set an on-ball screen for Billups and then immediately set a pin down for Rip Hamilton. And at first, this is contained by Cleveland, but Hamilton puts on some nice moves and scores. A different play here, they'll swing the ball and set a cross screen for Hamilton, and that gets him solid post position and he gets fouled. Same cross screen play, and when Hamilton isn't open, they reverse it, and the very nice wrinkle occurs where they'll set a double staggered screen for Hamilton, and on the last pin down, Varejao is forced with a 2-on-1. He steps out to cover Hamilton, which opens up Wallace. Same cross screen play for Hamilton that turns into a double staggered screen, and again a big man steps out on that screen, that frees up everything else, and when they get it to Wallace, he misses a 2-on-1 on the weak side. That stalls the offense, though they still get a good shot. Notice when Hamilton doesn't have a shot or pass off the pin down, he can pass it into Weber in the post, cut through, they have good spacing, and Weber can go to work. And they go right back to a Hamilton pin down. Ilgauskas is forced with a 2-on-1. This time he stays with Weber, which frees up Hamilton to get a foul. And on a Wallace post up, look at the perfect spacing, and when they bring a double, Weber can dive to the basket and get a foul. And look at the great court spacing when Prince is doubled in the post and he finds an open shooter. And watch Prince when he passes to Weber. He doesn't just stand there, but cuts around Weber looking for a handoff, and here he gets it and gets fouled. Here they set a back screen for Weber to get great post position, which he does, and scores. Along with cross screens, this back screen is actually a neat way to get your big man the ball, and here Wallace gets a layup, but he misses. And watch this, while a screen and roll is going on, Weber sets an alert flare screen to free up a shooter. Here they run a high post split with the ball entered into Wallace at the high post, and the two guards will cut around him, and the cutting gets Prince a mismatch and a switch on a smaller defender, and when Ilgauskas has to come and double, that frees up Weber underneath for a tip-in. Again a high post split where Prince gets a switch and a smaller guard on him. And after a double team and a post re-entry, Prince gets off a good look. And lastly, they run Billups off a shuffle screen to get post position, and he gets fouled. Here Cleveland runs a high post split, and when Prince goes under this screen and LeBron doesn't take the shot, that stalls the offense and they have to take a tough shot. Here Cleveland runs classic UCLA 1-4 offense where LeBron will UCLA cut, and then he'll receive a double staggered screen on the weak side, but Gooden messes things up by shooting. Same play, and while it's not run perfectly, there's enough movement to scramble Detroit, which frees up Gooden. Here when LeBron was on fire, notice how Detroit brings a second man to shadow LeBron, so Drew Gooden nicely flashes to the high post and gets a good look. And for those who are wondering what a duck-in is, it's off a pick and roll, one big is rolling down one block, and a second big man can duck in on the opposite block, which Ilgauskas does here, and he gets good post position. Moving on to defense, and watch here as Chauncey Billups commits a no-no and helps one pass away needlessly off Larry Hughes, and he makes him pay. And here it's Hamilton's turn to help one pass away needlessly off a decent shooting Sasha Pavlovich. And here Prince does it off a good shooting Daniel Gibson. And watch what happens off a screen and roll when Cleveland lets Billups split the double team. Early, Detroit mixed things up a bit by going to a half-court trap, which at first caused Cleveland some problems. And the great way to beat a zone press is to hit the high post, which Cleveland does here, though Billups knocks it away. You could also cut through as Larry Hughes does here, and he gets a foul. Because of middle penetration, this play was doomed from the start, but Larry Hughes still needs to stink and fill while Damon Jones closes out on the shooter Hamilton. This doesn't happen, and Weber gets a dunk. And lastly, no breakdown is complete without some great ice defense, as Prince forces sideline, Wallace contains, and they force a long two. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope this brought some attention to how great of a game that game was, how poor of a supporting cast LeBron had, how good of a team and well coached that team was with Flip Saunders. I know LeBron just signed with Cleveland, good for him, and see you next time.